I swear to God, this list better not get any new character for like a very long time because this is about to be by far the most stacked list I've ever done. What is going on, you guys? This is your boy the Dash Smasher, and welcome back to yet another Bleach Brave Souls video. And yeah, we don't have that many tier lists left to do. We only have to pretty much cover speed and power, and we're done. We can just do whatever we want. I can even do a list of my top 10 favorite characters. We can do an overall top 10 best unit list like last time. Let me know if you guys want that. But anywho, yeah, before we go ahead and begin, why don't you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification. Like, you guys will do me a huge favor. We're closing in on 10k subs. We may as well get to that goal. And I also have a second channel in the description if you guys want to check it out. But anywho, before we go ahead and begin the list and even talk about the honorable mentions, let us just have a moment of silence for Azashiro. Helicopter! Because he's gone. He's been Thanos. He's dead, dead, dead. Also, Noel, ever since GQ got the change, she fell off hard. Her nuke couldn't even save her. She's a dead character now. So, yeah, those characters are not on the list. They've pretty much been overthrown by a lot of better speed characters, and just the meta reset was not that good for them. But anywho, we're just gonna be talking about who I think are pretty much deserving of the top 10 and the honorable mentions, and I can tell you guys without a doubt, speed is currently the best attribute in the game. Like, no other attribute comes close to this, and we do not need any more characters as a whole. So let's begin with the honorable mentions. First up is Akon. Now, he's not the craziest for when it comes to farming super pots and pots, but he is still usable. He's still going to be better than the likes of Noel since he does have increased status element chance against power attribute enemies. But more importantly, this guy buffs Unohana by just giving speed attributes Soul Reaper damage to status element affected enemies of plus 40% and the character strong attack damage of 20%. You guys can go with a full GQ rotation of Unohana, Akon, and Shinji. You know, I may as well even include him, but after I've talked about Akon. You can go a full rotation of that for both melee Soul Reaper and Captain GQ, and you're going to be able to get a 50-second remaining clear time with a max transcendent Unohana. That's how stupid he buffs Retsu because of the skills that he has. But that being said, the character in and of itself isn't too crazy. Like, again, you can use him for farming super pots, but there's better. 750 AoE in front. What was this? I forget. That's the Sunsun SA3, no? Yeah, it's the Sunsun SA3, but that's an SA2. And then the SA3 is full screen. Just, you know, he's an honorable mention because he buffs the numero uno speed unit being Unohana. Yeah, there you guys go. Spoiler alert. Unohana is still the best speed unit in the game, but you know, it's pretty much to be expected. And then Shinji, he's a honorable mention because, like I said before, he buffs Unohana, gives out an extra strong attack damage towards captains, and he can debuff bosses. So pretty much that's it. But the character in and of itself, he's way more useless than Akon, just because of the fact that 18% shave, debuff, and then the SA3. The debuff has definitely gained value in Guild Quest, so there's that. And okay, he doesn't have any extra cooldowns besides strong attack recharge. But yeah, only an honorable mention for that. And then the next honorable mention is pretty much going to be Manoru Orihime, because this character actually picked up some value ever since the meta reset. By that, I mean she's immune to every status element and can share it. She can boost and give out barriers. She also has the multi-barrier skill right here, so she's going to be giving you and your other allies 3 shields, whereas she gets 5. And then most importantly, booster. Extra 43% attack in focus, baby. You're gonna get your SP and attack units buffed up nicely because of this character, and it's pretty much a character that you can use for every single guild quest. She's not meant to do damage, she's only there for the support. That being said, we have a character that is similar to Orihime that just happens to be better than her. The only downside to it is not being able to inflict status elements, but we'll get to that in a good bit. But yeah, other than that, the character isn't really that good. Does have extra cooldown reduction, so it's going to be 16 seconds when fully built up with a full cooldown reduction build. And yeah, has guard break, Sprinter +1. The kit isn't too great, 18% shave, 960 AoE. Keep in mind, it's going to take 16 seconds to get that back, and then the SA3 is full screen. Yeah, honestly, she's just what Kiryu was supposed to be designed for, if you ask me. She does a better job than Kiryu in goddamn Range Quad Zero Human Killer. Come on, that's just stupid. Because at least she gives out barriers. Kiryu doesn't even do that, which is stupid, bro. And last of the honorable mentions is going to be Jushiro. Well, I would put him again on the top 10 list. It's just that the one NAD character, it happens to have a lot more stuff, but he still is a crazy hard hitting character with the fact that he can also inflict drain on all of his attacks, has boost, and can give out barriers. No booster skill, unfortunately, but his multipliers are still good to this day. Flurry +1, Bruiser 40, Captain normal attack damage of 20% with the normal attack damage of 20%. He's definitely by far the best aging character that we have seen, because if you look at the other Safui round 1 characters, Shinsui's dead, Yama is super dead in PvP, so this Jushiro is pretty much the one character that survived at least. Freeze immunity, Sprint +1, strong attacks don't matter, but like he has the 18% shave, Suction Vortex, but again you're not inflicting status elements, and then the SA3 is full screen. Other than that, still one of the best NAD units that we have in the game still, and now it's time to truly begin the top 10. So coming in at number 10, Past Aizen. I never thought that this guy would still stay on my list despite the hard reset, despite the amount of speed units that we keep on getting. This guy is still good, and matter of fact, this guy just picked up a lot more value because of the fact that they split Squad Zero, Quincy, etc, etc. He's actually a really good character to have if you do not have Quincy, Ichigo, Max Transcended, or if you just don't have Macy, because he has Frenzy +1, Berserker 40, full stamina damage boost of 20%, as well as the 18% SP boost. But that's not all, lads, that's not all. He even comes with increased strong attack damage of 40% and has the wrong immunity, sadly, because there's freeze puddles. But like, this character is still ridiculously strong, and he does not have Havoc, and that's why I'm including him on the list, just for the utility that he brings to the table. And his kit is good too. Suction Vortex, a beam, 2500 length beam, but has an 850 width, so it's way better than your typical average 2.5k length beam. Like, he's just way better than the 1000-year blower Byakuya. It's just stupid. And then the SA3 is full screen. So yeah, pretty good for a character that doesn't have Havoc. Like, you may only have Drain. You're not really going to be meant to use him in Inheritance Trials, but you can make a solid use for Epic Raid should he be a bonus, and you can make a solid damn use for Guild Quests, especially. This character is good. Like, I've got nothing to say about him. Like, he's good. There's no Havoc, but still good. Up next at number 9 is going to be Halloween Toshiro. Now, this character is meant to be used specifically in Guild Quests, but he is by far one of the better mid-month characters to use for Guild Quests, because he is made for that rotation alone, because look at what he has. Frenzy +1, Berserker 40, Status Element Spiritual Pressure boost of 80%, has 30% range damage in Guild Quest and 50% killer effect in Guild Quest with Guard Break and hit hidden enemies, as well as Sprint +1. And what about the innate abilities? An extra full stamina damage boost of 20%, Havoc of 20%, and weaken immunity. And this guy is basically, I definitely want to say a better 1000-year blower Bambietta for Guild Quest, because he can stop the enemies and freeze the mobs, and you can fully utilize the SA2 of his. Just that the SA1 is going to be worse, and the skills, well, he doesn't have increased status element chance. He's mainly meant to be used in Guild Quest specifically. 18% shave, it's kind of weak for this type of character in and of itself. Like, he's not going to be that good. And then the SA2 is going to be the same one as Bambietta, literally the exact same barrage mechanic. And then the SA3, he's got the beautiful trap mechanic and has the 1170 in front like Retsu, and is able to inflict freeze. Keep in mind the third strong attack is going to have the same cooldown as Spirits Are Forever with you Miuri, so it's going to be like 17 to 18 seconds rather than 15-14 seconds like Retsu, but he's mainly meant to be used for Guild Quests, not PvE content. This character's going to age well for Guild Quests, like, there's no doubt in my mind, but outside of that, he's just a dog water unit. He's only in the top 10 for that reason alone. The fact that he can inflict status elements non-stop for his GQ rotation, and just the fact that he's pretty much going to be the king. He's going to be better than Balgo for that rotation in and of itself. And yeah, that's why he's on the list. Up next at number 8 is going to be this Nelio right here. Now, that being said, you can kind of swap her out with Mana Orihime and put her at number 8, and you guys would be right. You guys would be right. But hear me out. This Noel is actually better than you think, and I talked a lot of crap about this unit. And I have to say this right now. I'm sorry. I am really sorry, because I take back what I stated, because this is what Orihime is doing, but it's on a nat character, meaning that you just spam your normal attacks, and on top of it all, even has a gauge mechanic. So let's say you do bring this character in every other GQ, she's gonna do damage. Oh, and guess what? She even has Sharpshooter. So, yeah, your attacks are all going to hit minus the SA2 because, well, it's considered a melee attack, but honestly, for nat units, it's not even a problem because you're not trying to do damage with the strong attacks. It's mainly through the normal attacks. But anywho, let's just take a look at everything else. Flurry +1, normal attack damage of 30%, Captain Killer, speed attribute character normal attack damage of +20%, booster skill just like the Manor Orihime, has the Gauge Rampage just like Ichibei and Halloween Ninny, also gives out multi-bearer +2 like Orihime, and also has Dark Gauge 70%, except in Brave Battles, and then Strong Attack Recharge Time of -12%. So if you guys want to, you can go for like a full recharge build and be able to get that boost back. And even though she has the Gauge Rampage, sadly she won't be able to get her cooldowns back, but like at the end of the day, you're going to be using the Strong Attacks to build up the Gauge. So yeah, there's that. Poise, Sharpshooter, and Sprinter +1 as the innate abilities once again. And her Nat String, believe it or not, it's a melee collision one. And that's why I kind of value her more over Jushiro. Meaning that is going to hit a lot of different enemies in front, and it's going to be better. Like, this character is a bit more underpowered than Jushiro in base, but once you get the Gauge to be activated, yeah, she just does a lot of damage, and more importantly, she's just going to be able to support better just because of the booster skill, just because of the multi-bears. Like, this character is no joke. And the fact that she has Sharpshooter just means that you can use her everywhere else, and she is capable of autoing extreme co-op. So, I definitely want to mention that right now. But, yeah, SA1, what was it? 18% shave, irrelevant. SA2, 800 AoE, okay, I mean, it's irrelevant again. You're just going to be using the strong attacks for getting the Gauge up, and then the SA3 is full screen, so yeah, I take back what I said about this character. She's really good, and once you activate the Gauge right, she gains an additional Flurry and also 30% damage reduction. Feels weird that it's 30% rather than 50%, but honestly speaking, I think that she should have gotten an additional 100% bruiser, but I guess they didn't want to because then I think she would have broke Guild Quest as a whole, even without having most of the killers activated. Let's say you do bring her in every GQ rotation. So there's that. She's definitely valuable for that, just no additional cooldown reduction like Orihime, and no way of being able to share status element immunity. But that's pretty much about it. I think she's good, and I take back all the negativity that I had towards this one character. Like, even with Flurry +1, she still has like, what, 50% normal attack damage? Yeah, and not to mention, it's multiplicative and not additive, so, yeah. She's still gonna be a much better nat character to use, so yeah. I hope we get more 80% attack buff nat units in the future. Anywho, up next after her is going to be this Milo Rose right here. And she is, in my opinion, by far one of the better Link Slot Potions +10 characters that we have as an all, because she has a really good kit and some pretty damn strong skills like Frenzy +1, Havoc of 20%, Aronker Resonance, strong attack damage. Basically, the more Aronkers are on the field, the more Milo Rose is going to be doing damage with her strong attacks. And also has Berserker 40, damage inflicted at full stam 20, and damage to lacerated enemies of +60%. No increased status element chance, just so you guys know. But once you get, you know, laceration popped off with the Soul Bomb, yeah, you're going to be doing a lot and a lot. Also has 30% melee damage in co-op quests, which is pretty stupid. And like I said earlier, the Power Link Slot Potions skill of +10. Innate abilities. Oh yeah, I forgot she has that. She has a map-wide AoE skill of being able to inflict laceration every 5 seconds at 12% for 2 seconds. That's how you get the laceration to proc every damn time and do the 60% more damage. Guard Break and Sprint +1. And then SA1, 3k length beam, 1020 with SA2, 870 lunge like Retsu. And then the SA3 is going to be the vacuum into explosion kind of attack. So yeah, that's also going to be key to getting the laceration popped off, which is stupid. Yeah, if you guys ask me, she's easily one of the best farmers for epic raids, and also really good for Inheritance Zone. easily. Now from here onwards, the list is basically going to be exactly the same minus what's after Tensa. I only had a tough time trying to decide who to pick on the honorable mentions and these 4 characters right here, but honestly, what you can pretty much expect is going to be roughly the same. So yeah, Tensa Zangetsu, he's by far the ultimate farmer for speed, and has ridiculous DPS output as a whole. Like, he's able to even outdamage both Ringiku and the 1000-Year Blower Concord Ichigo just by having Frenzy +1, 60% Berserker, damage to enemies not afflicted by an ailment of 100%, and then has 30% melee damage in co-op quests, which, guess what? We're going to be bringing him in Inheritance Trials. He's going to have this to trigger, and he's just going to do so much stupid freaking damage. It's ridiculous. And guess what? Epic Raids, same thing. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's what the hell? Again, Ultimate Farmer, so he can farm Droplets, Link Slot Potions, and Super Link Slot Potions just fine. Soul Reaper Killer at that, and also does have Guard Break and Fire Immunity, Sprint +1. He does have the Havoc, by the way. I forgot to mention that. And a decent Soul Bomb of Devastation, 60%. But, yeah. 3k Length Beam on the SA1, 960 AoE in front, full screen, 1200 radius SA3. Just a god for farming, that's all. But, like, for, you know, stuff like Limit Breaker Quest, he's not really going to be meant for those type of game modes as a whole. And then at number 5, we just have a character that just does everything that Tensa does, but better. Like, could she not have been a different attribute? I think Power and Tech needed this type of character more than Speed, and yet we have a character that already replaces Tensa. What is the difference here? She now has Frenzy +2, she keeps the 100% pure damage, now is immune to every status elements, has a Berserker 50, so she's already going to be hitting way harder than Tensa, but on top of it all, she gains a guaranteed power droplets of +10, and also gains a 30% character special move damage. Meaning that she's buffing herself and all of her other allies Soul Bomb by an additional 30%, just like White, just like Eburn, you name it. So yeah, that's pretty much the only difference. And also she has a different killer, but like, she has the same kit too. She literally plays exactly the same. Oh right, I forgot to mention, she even has Marauder, so you can use her in extreme co-op just fine. And Havoc of 20% and Sprint +2, so yeah. Again, 3k Length Beam, 960 AoE, full screen SA3. She's the exact same character, it's really not that different. And yeah, she's also better than 1000-Year Blower Ichigo as a whole, Concord one. But yeah, the rest of the list is pretty much the same. Onward from number 4. Uryu, what can I say? He's just a ridiculously strong character. Double kills of Oronker and no affiliation. Has the gauge mechanic. Was the first character of its kind to get it. But he's still aged well. He's definitely one of the better aging anniversary characters that we have, and aged better than 7th anniversary Ichigo. Just by having Frenzy +2, Berserker 20, 20% character strong attack damage. Also, pretty much, you know, has recharge upon activating the gauge, guard break plus hit hidden enemies, and increased status summon chance against power attribute enemies with Havoc, weakening and drain on his entire skill set. Just no Marauder, but like, he's aged so well. Yeah, he picks up an additional 100% Berserker once you fully build up the gauge and activate it, and has Long Stride, 20% stamina recovery and Sprint +2, and kid is godly. Like, what can I say? 3k Length Beam, 870 lunge to 1080 full screen, and then the SA3 is full screen. Aged so well, I don't have anything else to say. He also has a debuff, so pretty freaking useful for epic grades and guild quests should you guys use them and don't have, like, I don't know, a max transcended White or Yuha, but still good. Number 3, Ulquiorra. Yeah, he still has a lot more value than Uryu just because of the simple matter of fact that he has Sharpshooter. In this kind of case, 80% SP boost. His Soul Bomb is still good, even though it's been nerfed. He's still gonna be doing a crap ton of damage regardless. Has Holo and Espada Killer, and yeah. Also, the speed attribute Oronker damage to status summon affected enemies of +40%, Berserker 40, Bombardment, complete status immunity. Yeah, I forget that he's immune to status elements as well. Frenzy +1 with Devastation 40, Havoc, 80% SP boost, you name it. Double status elements of Burn and Weakening. And yeah, forget he's a speedy boy like Uryu. Long Stride, Sharpshooter, and Sprint +2. Kid is great too. 3k Length Beam, 750 into Tracking Vortex like 8th Annie Ichigo, and then the full screen SA3. He's aged well. He's good. He's not falling off anytime soon until we get like more speed characters. And you know, yeah, I'll definitely say that for ranged holo. Did we get a character that can replace him for ranged holo? I don't remember. Oh wait, yeah, I just remembered. Halloween Nini. When she gets the gauge active, yeah, she's just stupidly broken. But honestly, you don't even need Nini if you have this character max transcended. He's still the only other option for ranged Espada, so he still has that value going for him. But yeah. Just ridiculous. Forgot to mention, but like he has the Aronker Resonance strong attack damage, so like the more Aronkers you have on the field, the more strong attack damage you'll be able to do. You know what kind of game mode you can take advantage of this? Easily epic raids, and once you're pretty much farming with Mila Roses, you're just gonna be able to do a lot more damage in there. And you can also increase the strong attack damage slightly because you can bring either Cacao Society, Ulquiorra, and Abirama in there and be quite fine. So yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's still gonna be a numero 3 of the top 10 list. Number 2, Macy. You guys already know how this character is. She's just cracked in every single way, shape, and form. Like, easily a top 5 right now, even though she did lose a bit of the spot because she doesn't have Rampage, but like, still ridiculous. Frenzy +2, 80% SP boost. Same skill as Yuha, Quincy, Ichigo, Kilgay. When moving in between maps, you get the cooldowns back, which is good. Berserker 40, and then you do 40% extra damage to paralyzed and weakened enemies once you get the status elements procced with the SA2 and do more damage. Weakened defense, double killers of no affiliation, and Squad Zero. Still the best unit to use for range Squad Zero. I'm really freaking bummed that I don't have her, and I've done like, what? Freaking 40 steps, and I still never pulled her. Yeah, I'm in shambles for that. I hate this character. Also has Havoc, Sharpshooter, and Spirit +1. Kid is godly, besides the SA1 being the 18% shave, but honestly, she makes it up with the 916 to Homing Vortex, and then the SA3 being full screen. Yeah, she's not going anywhere. She's just too ridiculously broken. And double status elements of Paralysis and Weakening. And then number 1, Ratsu, Yachiru Unohana, you name her, she's still the queen for speed, and she's still top 3 best units in the game, hands down. She's literally up there with the new Ichigo and Yuha. And Kilgay is just gonna follow after her, which is ridiculous. I would like to call this the Holy Trinity from now on of 1000. It's ridiculous. First ever summonable character to have double soul traits of strong attack damage of 20% and recharge. Double killers of Soul Reaper and Captain. No double status elements, but like, it's irrelevant because look at what she has. Frenzy +2, full stamina damage boost of 20%, Devastation 40, Havoc, Long Stride, Marauder, Poise, Rampage, 80% SP boost. This character is cracked. Absolutely cracked, especially because of Rampage. Kill 50 enemies, you get 100% damage to all of your attacks. Normal attacks, strong attacks, soulbound, you name it. If I were to name one thing that she's missing, just increased status element chance, but like, she kind of doesn't really need it when you have the goddamn trap mechanic. And on top of it all, she even has an extra 6% reduced strong attack cooldown, so like, you'll be able to get your strong attacks back faster on the SA1 and SA2 specifically, and it's going to help complement the SA3 because that now turns it into a 15 to 14 second cooldown, whereas normally you would need to wait for like 18, 17 seconds for that to come back. And you also have stamina recovery and sprint +2, speedy woman, what I like to see, 3k length mean, 870 lunge, and then the beautiful trap mechanic of, you know, having an 1170 and plans the weakening trap. Easily the best speed unit in the game, like, no debate, hands down. She's stupidly cracked, and I just love using this character, that is all. Anywho, let me know if you guys agree, disagree. I mean, for the most part, the list hasn't really changed. It's just the bottom 4 that have really changed in terms of who we have on the list now, plus the honorable mentions, but the top 4 have never really changed. It's been the same since 5 months. We didn't get any big major speed character, which is good because we have way too many good speed characters, and this is easily by far the best list that we have in the game. Like, hands down, power isn't even close, tech isn't even close, heart isn't even close, and mind isn't even close. Like, come on. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have enjoyed it, don't forget to smash that like button, share this video with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and hit the bell notification so that way you guys are up to date with my most recent videos. This has been your brother, the Smasher, and I hope to see you guys all in the next one. So have a wonderful day, lads. Peace out. Bye. Sayonara. Ciao, ciao.